Why would a man have to constantly... Jesus Christ.
A little high on that one.
I believe we belong to my Father in heaven, and his name is Yahweh! Yahweh! Yahweh!
I'm George Takei, and he's the T-Rex of Talk Shoe. You're listening to the News Guy Show.
Oh, yes, it is. Time again for that show once again, folks. It's the News Guy Show with your host, the News Guy. Every Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern over the News Guy Show Radio Network. And, of course, if you are listening to this over the podcast, and you are more than welcome. Well, such a busy weekend. Really full of news, a lot of good stuff going on. Yesterday was really, and today too, here in Iceland, beautiful day. Bright, couldn't ask for better days. 12 degrees, 13 degrees yesterday. It was like 15, 16 degrees today. We're in the middle of what you would call, I guess, the midnight sun, where even though there is supposedly a sunset somewhere, I'm not really sure where it is because this daylight does not go away. The only reason why it gets a little dim is because there's clouds in the sky. And then if there are no clouds in the sky, you've got bright blue skies and gorgeous weather 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's exactly the way that it was yesterday. It was absolutely gorgeous. I was outside. I kind of lost track of the time, too. It was so beautiful out. And it was just amazing. And then I came home and it was maybe 11 o'clock or something like that. But today I had the day off, so I kind of, went to the swimming pool, of course. I went there yesterday. But I don't know. I don't know. Today I felt weird. I don't know. I can't really describe it. Kind of down for some reason. I'm not really sure why. I mean, I have some ideas as to why, but I can't describe it other than just down. Or I don't know. And there's no reason to be. I don't like to use the D word, but it's because it's beautiful days and all this kind of stuff. So I'm not really too sure. But very, very strange. But I have gotten a really nice suntan just going out there at the swimming pool. I'm there maybe 1 hour, 2 hours. So I guess you could imagine you get tanned pretty quickly. But I'm not using any sunscreen or anything like that, which is not good. You're not supposed to use any sunscreen, of course, because, you go into the swimming pool. It's a public swimming pool, and, that stuff would wash off into the water. So, that's the problem with it. So I'm not too sure. But it's like my hands and my feet especially, there's the two tones. It's the top is dark, and then the part with the palm and, the part that I use to pick up stuff, it's, still white. So it's very strange. Who would have thought that you go out and get a suntan in Iceland? Anyway. So there is a lot of stuff to get to. I mean, of course, over the weekend, we had this whole thing with the Patriot Act expiring. It wasn't really that the Patriot Act expired, of course. It was this specific portion of the Patriot Act that does the metadata. And Rand Paul got up there and he made a very passionate speech where he was basically saying he's mad as hell and he's not going to take it anymore, and that everybody else should be as mad as hell, which is great. I applaud him for trying to get out there and doing this, to get people aware of it. Of course, we have to remember that the only reason we know about this metadata collection, nobody brings this up in the media at all, is because of Edward Snowden. Edward Snowden was the one who spilled all the beans on this stuff. There were people before him who tried to come out and talk about this, and what happened to them? They got their careers destroyed. And, they came out shortly after the whole Eric Snowden thing, exploded about 2 years ago. They were in places like RT and other places like that talking about their experiences when they were trying to blow the whistle on what was going on. And, their whole lives were destroyed, their whole careers and everything. So, I think a couple of them had wound up in divorces, because, all of the pressure and everything like that. So it's not a fun deal. But now, and this is the problem with the USA Patriot Act, because the metadata collection was never actually voted on by Congress and Senate. It was never openly debated. It was added on after the Patriot Act was put into place, and nobody knew about what was going on. Now this USA Patriot Act codifies all of that metadata into law, so we all know what's going on now. And God knows what else. That's my point I continue to say about this. God knows what else is going to be put into that USA Patriot Act, or USA Freedom Act, as they call it. What option do we have here? Now, listen, to be fair about it, Rand Paul is also against the USA Freedom Act as well, which is, a good thing. But that passed the Senate by an overwhelming majority over the weekend. I don't think anybody talked about that. Nobody was reporting on that, but it did. Let me see the numbers here. It was like a really overwhelming majority here. Let me see here. I'm trying to find it here. Let me see. It was something like 17 to 40. It was like big numbers here. Hold on. All right, we got that. This is the problem with notes. I'd rather write all... You know what I think I'd rather do? I'd rather write everything down on paper instead of using the computer. Because it's like you have to scroll up and down, and it's just... I don't know. It's like, it's hard to follow it with your eyes and all this kind of stuff. You don't need to know about this. But anyway, let me see here. Okay, so then we talk. Yeah, okay, the Senate did vote 77 to 17 to advance the USA Freedom Act, Section 1123. So there you have it. It's right there, 77 to 17. Now, I'm pretty sure Rand Paul was one of the 17 that did not vote for it. And good for him. But still, this is the problem with it. And I don't know, listen. Say what you want to say about this. Now, I was listening to a bunch of these Sunday morning talk shows, because I get them on the podcast. And this one guy on Meet the Press, they were talking about all of this, and he talked about, let me see here. Well, this one says expires June the 1st, Meet the Press. What is this? Hold on 1 second here. Listen.
All right, I'm going to have to leave it there. June 1st, Patriot Act expires. We'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah, that was right. Okay, that was actually at the beginning of this month. Right, okay. Anyway, no, this happened yesterday, and they were talking about Mitch McConnell, and everybody was saying, well, what was he thinking about the Patriot Act? Because here's basically what they said.
How did Mitch McConnell get himself in a position like this where he had no plan B, or is he just convening the Senate to give Rand Paul a campaign a boost?
It's really a surprise because...
See, that's what I've been saying. That's what if you remember, this is what I was maintaining. I mean, not really so much to give his campaign a boost, but, there was some sort of horseplay going on between the two of them, because they're apparently good friends. They're both the Kentucky senators. Something hinky was going on with all of this, especially with all the stuff that I just laid out to you about the Patriot Act. this USA Freedom Act versus the Patriot Act.
McConnell's the guy who strategizes, knows.
He's always got a plan B.
He's always got a plan. And this is...
Yeah, he's always got a plan B. McConnell is not a dummy. I mean, he looks like a turtle. He looks like Tippy Turtle. You know, can you draw me at the back of the matchbox? You're the book of matches. Remember that from the late 70s, early 80s. But he's no dummy. He's always got a plan B.
Unusual for him because he really stuck his neck out on this issue. Usually he sits back, lets the caucus debate it, and then decide which way to go. Here, he really does not believe the House-passed USA Freedom Act will be workable for intelligence gathering operations. And he came out strongly against it. And the party is just so divided on this right now, and there's no way forward. And it looks like McConnell will have to do a backflip, accept the USA Freedom Act. And the question for Rand Paul will be whether he drags this out all week, which is very possible.
Which is very possible. But I maintain, look, it's like I said, the USA Freedom Act actually codifies into law, and we all know that it's going on with this metadata collection. And the metadata collection is being taken up, instead of by the government now, it's going to be taken up by these tech companies. These telecommunications companies, they also say tech companies in a couple of the clips here. They make them interchangeable. So God knows what's going to be going on and how that data will be used and all this kind of stuff. Now, I do have to say, I was thinking about it. And, you know, listen. I mean, you take out the constitutional arguments and the fact that all of our personal freedoms are being compromised on some way. You take all of those arguments and you push them aside for a second and just view it specifically from the perspective of law enforcement. And you're trying to find Al-Qaeda terrorists or whatever it is, right? Now, the argument that Rand Paul and a lot of other people have been saying is, all right, you don't need to do all this data collection because all you need to do is get a warrant against the guy, like he brought up the Tsarnaev brothers. It's like, okay, you all you need to do is get a warrant against the Tsarnaev brothers for their phones, and you would have gotten all the information from them. Now, you would not have been able, if there was no metadata collection, you would not have been able to go into the past and see what was collected, theoretically.
Oh, yeah, there it is, 3 p.m. Eastern in the big city, New York, right now. We're going live to Studio 2 in Manhattan, HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk. Yes, it's time for the Thursday Double, your coffee and cigarettes on HTLA. I am the host of Coffee and Cigarettes, of course, Juice Brenner. Okay, all right, fine. I'm the host. Chris Crash, Jesus Taylor, in Studio 2 with you today. Got the show? Yes, I do. And what is the show today, you're probably asking? Well, today on that big show, we've got Obama news. I know. We weren't going to go there, but we've got to go there. Obama news today. Yes, a new report says Obama's team has widened NSA warrantless monitoring of your internet traffic. Yes. I'm going, why not? Also today, a judge grants new trial for Chandra Levy's convicted killer. Why? We don't know, but we'll bring it to you today. Also today, we'll tell you about the teen who was struck by lightning in her own house. Yeah. And services, of course, in Delaware today to honor Beau Biden. Also, we got a story about MERS, SARS, and Ebola. Just how dangerous are they? Well, you wouldn't want to spread them on toast, let's put it that way. Also today, the Pentagon fires its second huge propaganda salvo in Syria. costing you and I millions of dollars and accomplishing, well, nothing. No, pretty much accomplishes nothing, and, well, that's kind of what the government does, don't they? They seem to have this knack. If you want to accomplish nothing, partner up with the government, and they'll get it done. That's right. Oh, am I a little cynical or bitter today? Absolutely not. Got a hell of a show. All kinds of more stuff on there to come other than the aforementioned, so hold on to your butts. Yes. Come on in, grab a cup, have a seat, light one up, and hold on to your butts. It's coffee time. Yeah, we could just sit here and sing the theme song today. That's what we could do. Well, we could, but we're not going to because, damn it, we're professional and we've got a show to do. So there you go. I'd like to welcome the one, the only, the HTLA Radio 1 New York's #1 fan right now, live in the Spreaker.com chat room, Miss Devlon Crawford. It's good to see you, Dev. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in the chat for a couple of days, but we've been keeping an eye out for you. I think we've, well, yes, we have mentioned you every show this week. You'll have to go back and listen to some of those. There might be some things there you can litigate. Yes, you never know. I just tend to go off, don't I? Yeah. Oh, and also, we do need to mention some apologies to the Spreaker.com listeners. There has been some issues apparently with Spreaker this week. It's kind of been in and out. We noticed there was some dropouts on our show yesterday. Yes, if you missed that, the 2-hour marathon show yesterday. Yeah. I went a little nuts. We had a lot of stuff to cover, and, well, George and Gilbert and Louie were being exceptional yesterday in their co-hosting duties, and, yeah, it just went. It was fluid. Yes, maybe we'll do 2 hours every day. Yes, that will bring total insanity, yes, to a computer near you. Yes, well, welcome to the show. Mm-hmm. Of course, in the booth with me today, of course, at Studio 2 in Manhattan, is the one, the only Jenny McCartney, pushing the buttons, making us go today on that PreSonus 2442 digital broadcast mixer. If you want to check out everything in professional and digital audio, get on over to PreSonus.com. Check them out. Also, today, the show is, of course, as always, brought to you by the fine folks at Tim Hortons in the New York City area, now with 8 fine locations in that city to serve all of your coffee and baked goods needs. And, man, let me tell you, today, I've actually got a favorite. I have a favorite, and that is, yes, that is the Tim Hortons Dark Blend. Yes, and I know that some of you out there who actually know your coffee beans are like, well, that's less caffeine. Yes, it is. It is, because of the darker roast, of course. The more of the caffeine is lost in the processing. But hey, the flavor is just on top of the world. I can't say enough about Tim Hortons coffee at the best of times, or at the worst of times. But yeah, the dark roast is definitely my little happy tongue's favorite. So check those out. They have a light roast, too, for all you caffeine-aholics. And, yeah, that's a kick in the head in the morning. That'll get you going. And speaking of getting going, we've got to get going today. So let me introduce our 3 guests/co-hosts that we have for you today on the show. Our first, of course, is the one, the only Louie Lawless, all the way from Millbay Studios in beautiful Millbay, British Columbia, Canada. And he is coming to us live via satellite because that's how he likes us to say it. There we go. Louie, are you there, sir?
My film, Unrepented, did very well in Europe.
Well, it's good that you've got that out of the way right from the top. Yeah.
Oh, can we cuss? Can I cuss as I always do on the show?
You can, because we've, of course, got you, like I tell you every day, we've got you on that 30-second delay thing, and we beep you, and it's all good.
It's about fucking time. Move on.
See, there you go. Yeah, that's all you had to say. It was pretty simple.
I think it should be short and sweet.
And that's what we're keeping it to today, of course. So now we're going just about 8 blocks down the street here from HTLA Studio 2 in downtown Manhattan to the one, the only Mr. Gilbert Godfrey's house, his palatial, mansion-esque kind of apartment. It's a really stunning place. I don't know if he's done some Gilbert. You've done some reality TV stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I saw you swapping wives with Alan Thicke or something.
Yes.
Yeah. And of course, your sprawling, spacious, wonderful, luxurious apartment is all over that episode. And so, yes, and your lovely wife, Dara.
Yes.
Yes, not to be confused with the prostitute you've been seen with, Dana. No, I screwed up last week.
Yes.
Yes, I did. I said that his lovely wife, Dana, and of course, Dara, well, she got on the phone to Jenny, and before I knew it, I had 2 topless, pissed-off women yelling at me. But it's kind of my life.
Yes.
That's kind of what I get. Give us a little intro, Gilbert.
And this is I that up.
See, I should just continue talking about your wife.
Yes.
That's what I should do. I don't know, try that again.
Hi, I'm Gilbert Gottfried. Of course, I had to say that up front because a lot of you are probably looking at this going, oh, look, it's Gwyneth Paltrow. How'd they get her to do it?
Yes, Gwyneth, well, as you know, they can't see you.
Yes.
Yes. But thanks for playing. Yeah. Also, moving on the show today, we've got the one, the only George Takei, all the way from his home in beautiful Malibu, California, where I believe he has just finished banging Brad. Did you bang Brad this morning, George?
Every morning.
Good. Yeah. Okay. We don't want your love to go lost. We don't. That's what we'll do. We'll do the morning checking with George. Make sure he's banging Brad.
Yes.
Yeah. I'd like to welcome the one, the only Apocalypse to the Spreaker.com chat room. And hey, if you're not there, get on over there, Spreaker.com, and just type in the old window there, HTLA. You'll come right up to us, and well, you can hear Spreaker's crappy dropout audio too. Yeah. I don't actually, to be honest, I don't even know why we're there anymore.
Yes.
I mean, we're on iHeart, iTunes, Stitcher, Podcast One.
Yes.
The list goes on. Yeah. I don't know, but that's the way it is. So moving on today, welcome, gentlemen, to the show. As always, it's always a joy and a pleasure and an absolute, thanks, talent to be here. And as you can tell, yes, Jenny McCartney's dog is in the studio today. Yeah. But hey, you know what? I'm a professional. I'll keep rolling.
Yes.
That's right.
They get crazy because all of a sudden nobody loves them.
Oh, you have dogs too, Louie? Huh? Well, moving on the show today, we do have quite a few stories to cover, but I'll try not to go 2 hours like yesterday.
Yes.
I don't know what it is. It's just, it's just the stories, they keep coming and coming,
yes.
and we just can't stop them. It's an inundation, and we're all gonna die. Yes. Well, today, first up on the hit parade, of course, is, unfortunately, I'm sorry, I know, Obama news. Well, the Obama administration expanded the National Security Agency's warrantless surveillance of Americans' internet traffic today in an effort to combat Well, yeah, so he says, foreign computer hacking. Yes, you keep an eye on us over here so that all the ones over there can continue as normal.
Yes.
Well, the New York Times reports, citing documents that it was given by Edward Snowden, the former NSA contractor who we all know and love.
Yes.
Well, the directive stemmed from 2 secret memos from Justice Department lawyers in 2012, the Times reports. It should come as no surprise that the U.S. government gathers intelligence on foreign powers that attempt to penetrate U.S. networks. Say it with me, penetrate. Yes. Yes, I know George likes that one.
Yes.
Yes, and steal the private information of U.S. citizens and companies. Brian Hale of the Office of the Director of National Intelligence told the Times. Snowden, who in 2013, of course, revealed the NSA's program of mass telephone metadata collection, furnished the documents to the Times and ProPublica. On Wednesday, yesterday, the Senate approved the USA Freedom Act, of course, which ended that program and restored other recently expired provisions of the Patriot Act, the anti-terrorism law passed in the wake of the 9/11 attacks. The surveillance described in the most recent revelation consisted of the morning addresses and so-called cyber signatures, according to the Times, which it described as patterns. Yes, thank you, hacker dog.
Yes.
Yeah. which described the patterns associated with computer intrusions that were linked to foreign powers. Those restrictions were imposed by the Justice Department. Despite the provisions, the documents provided by Snowden showed the NSA set out to go after hackers even if there was no proven ties to a foreign government. So everybody, don't go to Amazon. Yes. Yeah, next thing you know, you go to Amazon, you'll be on that terrorist hit list.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be all over for you. You'll be in Guantanamo. Man.
Everything that could go wrong goes wrong.
Yeah, it pretty much does in that particular case. So just stay offline right now. Just whatever you're doing, just stop listening to this show. This show can get you arrested. Yeah.
That's what they've done. They've reached a particular point that they feel they're untouchable.
Well, yes, they have, and well, I mean, what are you gonna? It's
same thing.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Well, moving on today, our second story is kind of an interesting one. Now, I'm sure that all of you are probably familiar with the case, at least in some way, shape, or form, that of Chandra Levy.
Yes.
Yes, well, a judge out of the blue, for some unknown reason, which we're going to explore now together. Well, he's decided he's going to grant a new trial for Chandra Levy's convicted killer. Yeah. What? Well, Washington today, the man convicted in the 2001 death of the federal agency intern will be given a new trial, a judge ruled today. Engamar Grandique, 33, who lived in the District of Columbia at the time, was found guilty back in 2010, of course, of killing Chandra Levy, 24, of Modesto, California, whose disappearance was made national after headlines after she was linked romantically to Rep. Gary Condit, Democrat of California. A man walking his dog. There's a lot of dogs around here today. As a man walking his dog found Levy's remains in 2002 in Rock Creek Park here, and police, who reconstructed search information on her computer, believed that she had been on a running route through the park when she was attacked. Prosecutors argued that Levy's death fit a pattern of attacks that Grandique committed on female joggers. Okay, so what's the problem? Well, the illegal immigrant from El Salvador was convicted of first-degree murder and given a 60-year sentence, though he has maintained his innocence for the past 2 years. Grandique's lawyers have been pursuing a retrial, saying that they have new evidence that a former cellmate and key witness, a Fresno gang member and trusted witness, Armando Morales lied during the initial trial.
Yes.
Well, Judge Gerald Fisher of D.C. Superior Court granted their motion today. Prosecutors and Grandique's lawyers are scheduled to return to court next week, and they're likely to set a new trial date then. Morales testified that Grandique had confided that he was responsible for Levy's death, because Levy remains were discovered more than a year after her disappearance. Of course, no physical evidence linked Grandique to Levy's murder. And Morales provided some of the trial's most powerful testimony. Levy was finishing a 7-month internship at the Federal Bureau of Prisons when she disappeared, and only when she didn't return home, as previously planned, did authorities learn she was missing. 5 days after she left her DuPont Circle apartment to go running, her dad called police saying her family had left messages on her answering machine and she did not respond. Levy, who moved from Cleveland with her family as a child, was to graduate that week from the University of Southern California. And, of course, she's dead. Well, hey, she might be dead.
Yes.
But thanks to the court system, for decades, she will be remembered. Yes. Yes, is another...
You are a douchebag.
Yes. Well, the old douchebag's got some more cool news for you. I got... the story today, of course, of a teenager being struck by lightning in her own home. And no, it's not the latest Justin Bieber release. No. That's right. Yes, Dripping Springs, Texas. Wow, how many girls enjoy living in Dripping Springs? That was a vagina joke, George. You get it? Dripping Springs?
Yes.
Dripping Spring. I guess he wouldn't get it unless he was like Bruce Jenner. Of course, that's not actual real dripping springs either. That's synthetic springs. Yeah. Oh, he's going to be next in line for the lawsuits on that vaginal mesh thing. Yeah. Well, as a teen went into the refrigerator during the memorial door, yes, the memorial door.
Yes.
Yes, you all remember and know the memorial door celebration. Yes. Why don't we try Memorial Day? Yes. You all remember those Memorial Day storms in Dripping Springs, of course.
Yeah.
Well, lightning struck her home and electrocuted her. I don't remember a lot from that day, says Macy Martinez. I do remember being in the most pain I had ever been in. Martinez's dad, Anthony Verriel, heard about a loud noise, and as soon as she opened the door, that's when everything went crazy. I heard a loud bang like an explosion, said Verriel. The electricity traveled through her body. I think the most scary thing I can remember is not being able to let go of the fridge. I remember it was happening. My dad had to pull me off, Martinez said. She couldn't walk, added her father. On the family's GoFundMe page, because you've got to get compensation after being electrocuted by the fridge. Oh, no, wait. The GoFundMe page, of course, is seeking funds for medical costs and home repairs. And maybe some upgrades, in-ground pool.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm all for helping people out.
Yes.
But, lately this GoFundMe thing, it just seems to be like, well, shit, I can't win the lottery, so... I mean, really, it harkens back like, 4 or 5 months ago, that old black guy who tried passing off the story of walking 21 miles to work and back every day. Right? Nobody did the math on that.
Yes.
Nobody did. No. Really? Okay, so you walk 21 miles to work in the morning.
Yes.
And you walk 21 miles back home at night.
Yes.
and you work an 8-hour day.
Yes.
Okay. Average human walks 3.5 miles an hour.
Yes.
Do the math there to 21. That's 7 hours walking time to work. So if he starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, he starts walking at 1 o'clock in the morning to get to work on time. Okay, so let's figure this out. He gets up at midnight.
Yes.
Okay. Polishes up his walking shoes.
Yes.
And begins the Lord of the Rings journey across New Zealand. Okay. So he starts this,
yes.
and he's walking. So there's 1 to 8 in the morning. He gets to work.
Yes.
Oh, right on. Okay. Oh, geez, now it's 4 in the afternoon. Time to clock out. Oh, no, wait, maybe it's 5. He was black.
Yes.
Okay, so 5 o'clock, let's say he clocks out, and
yes.
he starts to walk home. So let's see, 7 hours on the 5. Well, there. Okay, well, that's midnight again.
Yes.
Okay, so he's in the door from work, and oh shit, it's only a Monday, and it's midnight. It's time for me to get up and get ready to go to work at 1 a.m. Okay, so then he starts off back to work with no sleep, and he did this for how many years, did it say in that thing? I think 12 years?
Yes.
Yeah, well, a nice brand new car and $500,000 later... just makes me wish I could write stories like that. Anyway, yeah, so I don't hold a lot of weight to these GoFundMe things. People looking for I'm looking for a hand up, not a handout.
Yes.
Yeah. I just want a car, an old $3,000 beater. Well, here's $500,000. Oh, you poor man, you should have never had to walk to work all those years with no sleep.
Yes.
Yes, that's... I rest my face. There you go. Yeah, so she's seeking funds for medical costs and home repairs. Martinez's mother wrote that Martinez was diagnosed with secondary electrocution and temporary paralysis. That should be good for another $300,000 or $400,000 extra. Right there. Well, according to the Post, Martinez is, quote, now able to walk and is okay, but she still feels tingly. Do you know how many women out there would pay real money to feel tingly, woman? Well, doctors are monitoring her liver and kidneys, of course, because that has something to do with everything.
Yes.
Generally, inside a home is one of the safest places you can be during a storm because it's grounded.
Yes.
That's actually a good place to be because all that wiring in the house and copper pipes, says Dr. Brian Skrenka. What a nice name. Dr. Skrenka.
Yes.
Yeah. Stupid name, but he does have a hell of a nice title. He's the Director of Pediatric Emergency Department at St. David's North Austin Medical Center, period. Oh, man, stick that on a business card.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Skrenka treated Martinez and said that there are several things inside your home you should avoid. Well, from the story, I'm thinking the fridge. Yeah, he says you want to steer away from metal frame doors. You want to stay off the telephone because that's the most common way to get shocked. Stay away from appliances. Don't be in the bathtub. Get away from water, he said, and don't lay on the basement floor. Jesus Christ, anything else you want us to throw in there for a split-second decision? What It's like you're going through the checklist in your head. You know, like the lightning's down. It's hit the house, and you've got that what? 1/100,000th of a second to make the decision?
Yes.
And so you're going to go down the list. Okay, metal frame doors, basement floor,
yes.
I don't know. Yeah, guess what? You're zapped. Well, the Central Texas home suffered some exterior damage. Dripping Springs is about 24 miles west of Austin. Inside, all of the appliances, of course, are fried, and the wood floor bubbled up. They didn't realize until they returned from the hospital that Viril was injured as well. Then they had to go back to the hospital. That's when I noticed I had a burn on my left arm, he said. Now, the family is grateful to be able to share their experience and hope what happened to them will raise an awareness on what not to do during a storm. But if you do get zapped in your house, raise awareness on how to set up the GoFundMe campaign to get you rich. Well, Martinez's doctor knows of several patients like her who have been struck inside their own homes, including another teen injured while mixing something in a blender. Do you think that was illegal booze? I don't know. I'm thinking probably it was illegal booze.
Yes.
Yes, I am. Well, listen, gang, we're going to go for our first commercial break, but don't worry. When we come back, we're going to get in all morbid on your asses. We're going to, of course, tell you about the services that begin today in Delaware to honor the now deceased Beau Biden. Yeah, back in 2.
You've got it locked to HTLA Radio 1, New York.
What if there was a coffee that was sourced from some of the world's most renowned growing regions, abundant with rich, fertile soil? What if this coffee was picked at the perfect moment, then packed meticulously and shipped carefully to be roasted under the watchful eye of coffee masters? What if it was expertly blended, ground, and sealed, ensuring maximum flavor and freshness, then brewed in small batches and always served fresh within 20 minutes, just the way you like it? Now, what if this coffee just happened to be the coffee you already know and love? Tim Hortons. Always fresh. Always great tasting coffee.
Man, I've been to a lot of places over these past 50 years. Seen the whole true north strong and free. 'Cause I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Cooksville, Stouffville, Bainesville, Bowmanville, Bonnieville, Unionville, Oakville, Dunville, Brockville, Boucherville, Melville, Drummondville, Kentville, Grenville, Morinville, Maryville, Parksville, Stephenville, Sackville, Spring Hill, Westville, Walkerville, hanging on a windowsill. Hey! He said, wow, that's a lot of places. I said, hang on, there's more. I've been to Moncton, Picton, Shannon, Vernon, Stellarton, Hamilton, Nipigon, Nobleton, Yorkton, Brighton, Bolton, Beaverton, Brandon, Edmonton, Walkerton, Wyerton, Granby, Miramichi, Charlottetown, Burnaby, Yellowknife, Whitehorse, Corner Brook, none of it. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. I crossed the prairies bare, man. I breathed the mountain air. I've traveled, I've done my share, man. I've been everywhere, man. Check it out. Ottawa, Wawa, Mattawa, Chippewa, Moose Jaw, Oshawa.
Some said the U.S. has lost its innovative power. We said America is lighting the way as the innovation nation. Singular insights, superior execution. That's the power of global connections. Bank of America, Merrill Lynch. Voted top global research firm 2011, 12, and 13.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors. we're also making new jobs. Alejandra, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I've been so inspired by being in New York because everything from what people are wearing on the street to the way they're interacting with each other, to drive through the West Village at night and you see a couple kissing on the street, or you see someone fighting outside their apartment, or you see so much humanity on a daily basis that even if you're not inspired by your own life that day, you can be inspired by someone else's life.
You got that long hair, slicked back, white t-shirt, and I got that good girl face and a tight little skirt. And when we go crashing down, we come back every time, 'cause we never go out of style. We never go out of style. Take me out.
There's only one place to get more Taylor. We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
We hugged in the elevator, and I still have an erection. Now, I remember sitting next to you on a plane.
Yeah.
Yes, and I was flying out to L.A. to audition for some movie that I didn't get.
Yeah, you know what? We're not going to do this a frickin' again. Get some new material. Yeah, Flight to L.A., John Travolta movie, young, hip Americans.
Yes.
Yada, yada, yada. Well, that sounds like a piece of shit, right? See, Gilbert, you got to start telling us stuff that we don't know.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. What is my name?
Yeah, you should be sorry, damn you. But that's okay. I'll let it slide. We don't pay you enough.
Yes.
There you go. Welcome back to the big show today. Of course, your coffee and cigarettes on HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk. That's right. It's your Thursday double-double for this Thursday, June 4th, 2015. Yes, it is. 66 degrees right now in Central Park. And it's overcast, but that's okay because, well, I have to work. Only get another few seconds of music. I could ask George a question, but then that would be another hour. Why don't you tell us about your Shakespeare days?
Well, I'm a Shakespeare buff.
I was kidding. George, we don't have enough time for your Shakespeare days.
Yes.
Nope.
I wasn't expecting that reaction.
Well, you've got it. Yes. Welcome back to the big show. Thanks to Apocalypse and Debalon Crawford, of course, for hanging out and still listening to us after that first 28 minutes of shit. There you go. Well, and hey, never fear, we've got more shit.
Yes.
Yes, we do. Yes, it's all about the shit. See, I like saying that shit. I can get away with that.
Yes.
It's not like the F thing. I can't do that. Well, I guess I could. They could beep me, right?
Yes.
Could beep me. I don't know. I just don't feel right swearing in things. It's just so not me. Yes, it is. Yes. Well, moving on to the serious news now.
Yes.
Of course, we're talking about the services that began in Delaware today to honor the now deceased Beau Biden in Dover, Delaware, looking down over former Delaware Attorney General Beau Biden's flag-draped casket in the Delaware Senate chambers today. Governor Jack Markell set the tone for an unprecedented memorial service. Beau made Delaware a better place for us all, he said. He told the gathering that included Vice President Biden and his wife, Jill, Beau's widow, Hallie, and children Natalie and Hunter, Beau's brother, Hunter, and sister, and, I don't know, somebody named Ashley. Oh, no, sorry, that's his sister, Ashley.
Yes.
There we go. Okay. Well, Markell was among those who greeted the Bidens outside the Legislative Hall, as well as the House Speaker Pete Schwarzkopf, former Delaware Chief Justice Myron Steele, Attorney General. Really? We're just going to list off the hit parade of these assholes? Oh, so-and-so was there, and so-and-so was there. I'm looking. Was Chris Rock there? Well, Biden, who left office in January and died Saturday at age 46 after nearly 2-year fight against brain cancer. He was diagnosed back in August 2013, the same month that the doctors at the University of Texas Maryland Anderson Cancer Center in Houston removed a small lesion from his brain. Late Thursday morning, people started gathering outside the Legislative Hall, which included media crews that lined the edge of the green across the Capitol as organizers moved in and out of the building. Delaware Capitol Police swept the building with canine dogs as friends, legislators, and former staff of Biden gathered outside with Kanye West. Kanye West tried to break out into song and have some sort of little memorial concert free.
Yes.
But was restrained and ultimately carried away. The Legislative Hall Memorial is the first of its kind. Delaware had no record of any such public mourning event in the Capitol building since it opened in 1933, and they weren't going to start changing things with a Kanye West concert. Well, Colonel John Hazlitt, an officer in the Continental American Army during the American Revolution, was probably the last person to be laid in honor in the old State House building in Dover, says Russ McCabe, a Delaware historian and former archivist. Former archivist? What do you... How do you get fired from an archiving job? You don't work with anybody. You just hang out with a bunch of dirty, dusty books and files.
Yes.
How do you... I guess if you're masturbating all over them. Well, of course, I don't know. I'm just speculating, But, I mean, that's what Wilf Blitzer does, and he gets away with it, so... Well, many government officials, yes, that star list that I refuse to read.
Yes.
Well, I guess because I refuse to read it, they refuse to comment. But others said the Legislative Hall tribute is fitting for Biden, who followed his father into politics after growing up in the public eye as the son of a politician with a statewide popularity. I'm just happy we were able to pay tribute in this way, says Senator Harris McDowell, Delaware's longest-serving lawmaker, choking up today as he discussed Beau Biden. Yes. Rita Landgraf, Secretary of the State Department of Health and Social Services, teared up as she waited in line. She says she remembers when she was a young social worker just starting out, responding to Child Protective Services calls to their home. It's stunning, said Landgraf, who added that she worked closely with Beau Biden on the prosecution of pedophile pediatrician Earl Bradley in the case that his drive to get justice for the children hurt by Bradley was unprecedented. And that actually reminds me of a little joke.
Yeah.
Did you know that 1 in 10 of us live next door to pedophiles?
Yes.
Right? 1 in 10 of us live next door to pedophiles. I'm one of the lucky ones, however. I just live next door to 2 hot 9-year-olds. Yes, thank you all. I'll continue.
Yeah.
Well, he went beyond his call of duty, Landgraf said, as the State Department of Finance Secretary Tom Cook nodded in agreement. Well, thanks for pitching in there, Tom. The two had similar childhoods in Delaware's political spotlight, said Cook, the son of a former Joint Justice Committee chairwoman Nancy Cook of the Dover area. It's so sad to think that he's gone so young, Cook said. You don't think it's true, he said. At 12:50 p.m. this afternoon in Washington, the U.S. House of Representatives unanimously passed Delaware Congressman John Carney's resolution commemorating even, not even just commemorating, Beau Biden's life. This weekend, Beau Biden left this world far too soon at the age of 46. Jesus, I'm a year older than that. I'm going to go any minute now. Well, I'll try and hold on to the next commercial break.
Yes.
Yes. Far too soon at the age of 46, Carney told fellow members of Congress, "My home state of Delaware and this country suffered a loss that is deeply painful and deeply personal. I hope next week we can say the same for Bruce Jenner." Yes. After getting diagnosed with brain cancer, Biden underwent a round of chemotherapy and radiation treatment, and in the vice president's office said he was given a clean bill of health by his doctor back in November in 2013. But Biden's cancer returned this spring, and he immediately sought aggressive treatment. He was admitted into Walter Reed National Military Medical Center for treatment because Daddy couldn't come see him otherwise. Luckily, Biden did serve as Attorney General from 2007 to 2015 as Delaware's top law enforcement official. He stepped up prosecutions of child sex crimes, advocating for stricter gun control laws and anti-bullying measures. In his as his tenure neared its end, Biden said that he would set his sights on a gubernatorial run. I'm sorry. Ever since Schwarzenegger, every time I see the word gubernatorial, it's got to be Arnold.
Yes.
Well, he's very well respected, a dedicated public official, and, well, he was just liked, said former House Speaker Robert Gilligan, a Democrat. I think you're seeing an outpouring of emotion because of what he accomplished, and also out of respect for the Biden family. It's such a terrible tragedy. He was always a gentleman. And, of course, I have to say that we here at HTLA wish our heartfelt condolences to the family. Which reminds me, it's time for our traffic report. Let's get to Brock Favors in the air. Brock, give it up.
Hello, everybody out there. This is Brock Favors with Traffic on the Ones. Chad Armstrong is out sick today, so I am filling in for my usual land reports. And I'm up here in the chopper. But I gotta tell you guys, I am loving the view. Oh my God! Oh! No! Stop! Oh! Whoo! All right. Well, we are over the 10, and it's massively clogged down there like a pint of maple syrup on a cool November morning. And we do. Oh! Goddamn! We gonna die in this mother. Oh my God! Woo! Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I am very sorry, folks. It's a little bit of a bumpy ride up here. We are now approaching the 405, where the left lane is blocked by a mattress. So somebody is going to be doing a little return to IKEA later today. You know what I'm saying? Oh, no, please! Oh, goddamn! Oh, get me out this motherfucking death machine right now! Oh, no, black people ain't meant to be in the sky! We ain't meant to be in the sky, man! Oh, mama, help me, mother... Oh, mama! When a 405 is up right now, ain't nobody going down this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry, folks. I'm very sorry, but I'm losing my up here.
Actually, you have every right to. We're about to crash.
Oh, help me! Oh, my God!
Yes, once again, so condolences to Brock Faber's family.
Yes.
That Traffic on the One was, of course, brought to you by the fine folks at Tim Hortons. There you go. and there it is. There it is right there. I mean, you pound for pound, dollar for dollar, you can't get better traffic reporting than HTLA. Right there. See, because now we have a complete overview of everything going on.
Yes.
You know, it's not like we don't know now. We know about that mattress.
Yes.
You know.
It's about fucking time. Move on.
Hey, buddy, who's the host here?
And I remember, and this is why I feel I have a real connection with you.
Oh God!
Because in the alleyway,
no,
when that's the beginning, she bent over in the alleyway, and you inserted yourself, and then she started to blow me, and my erection was kind of a semi-erection because I kept looking at you. So when you're standing there trying to get a blowjob and looking at it's really hard.
Yeah, but
and then I remember,
oh, brother.
I had a hotel room, so we both went up there, and you went first.
Well,
you are my opening act.
No, screw that. I'm your hero. Yeah. I don't know why you keep bringing that stuff up. I think you should apologize to the listeners and me.
Oh, I'm sorry. What is my name?
Yeah, you can try and use that as a defense. I know better. Well, hey, moving on. MERS, SARS, and Ebola. How dangerous are they?
Yes.
Really? You're waiting for the answer? Really? Is that... Well, an infectious disease with an exotic name has again captured public attention, of course. This time, the virus isn't Ebola, but MERS, or Middle East Respiratory Syndrome. And I'm surprised the Islamics aren't blaming us. Oh, you can't name us disease after us. You can. Oh, wait a minute. Now that I think about it, that's probably why all the terrorism. Well, South Korea has quarantined 1,369 people and has closed hundreds of schools in an effort to control the disease. The outbreak has now infected 35 people, says Michael Osterholm, director of the Center for Infectious Disease Research and Policy at the University of Minnesota. Yes, there's another hell of a business card.
Yes.
Well, the outbreak could get much larger given the number of people exposed at hospitals and health clinics by patients who were infectious at the time but not yet diagnosed, according to the World Health Organization. MERS is one of the many diseases that scientists call emerging infections, or new diseases with potential to become more common in the near future. Some of the panic about Ebola last year stemmed from the public's confusion about what emerging viruses are and how they actually spread, says Peter Hotez, Dean of the National School of Tropical Medicine at Baylor College of Medicine in Houston. Well, we asked infectious disease experts to explain to our listeners some of the key similarities and differences among these infections. Let's talk MERS. All right. Now, MERS, the MERS virus, which belongs to the coronavirus family, was identified in 2012 in Saudi Arabia. Since then, it's infected at least 1,179 people and has killed 422, according to World Health Organization. MERS causes fever, coughing, difficulty breathing, and in some cases, pneumonia and kidney failure, according to the Center for Disease Control and Infection. How does it spread? Well, scientists don't yet understand exactly how people spread MERS. Hotez said, in the past, the virus has spread to people in close contact with patients, such as family members living together. Yet in the South Korean outbreak, some people who were infected after being exposed to an infectious patient in as little as exposure as 5 minutes. So, yeah, they don't know. So, Ebola, haha, we're not scared of you. It's MERS, baby. Well, you might have heard the SARS before. Yes, SARS is also a coronavirus known as severe acute respiratory syndrome. It first appeared back in 2002 and was identified in 2003. SARS infected nearly 8,100 people, killing about 10%, according to the World Health Organization. It disappeared after 2004 for reasons that scientists don't totally understand. SARS begins with a high fever and flu-like symptoms, including headache, body aches, and cough, and usually progress to pneumonia, according to the CDC. How does it spread? Well, SARS appears to spread through close contact, mostly through respiratory droplets that fly into the air as people sneeze or cough, Hotez said. These droplets normally don't travel more than 3 feet before falling to the ground. Droplets can affect people in 2 ways, either by directly landing in someone's nose, mouth, or eyes, or by landing on a surface that someone touches. And now to the big granddaddy, Ebola. Well, as most of us know and remember, Ebola emerged in 1976 in Zaire.
Yes.
Yes, it was the black man's retribution. Well, in the West African outbreak in 76, which began in December, more than 27,000 people have been infected and more than 11,000 have died, according to the World Health Organization. Over the years, mortality rates have ranged from anywhere from 25% to 90%. Ebola causes a fever, headache, vomiting, diarrhea, and in some cases bleeding, according to the CDC. Although Liberia was recently declared Ebola-free, the virus continues to simmer in Guinea and Sierra Leone. Some infectious disease experts worry that Ebola could become endemic in Guinea, spreading indefinitely and routinely, much like malaria, says Daniel Lucy, an adjunct professor of microbiology and immunology at Georgetown University Medical Center. How does Ebola spread, you may ask? I've got your answers.
Yes.
Yes, Ebola spreads through direct contact with bodily fluids, such as blood, according to the CDC. It does not spread through the air. Patients are not contagious until they develop symptoms. They are most contagious in the advanced stages of the disease when they are likely to be hospitalized, which puts healthcare workers at high risk. Well, the one thing that makes diseases such as MERS so frightening is the lack of proven treatments and vaccines, Hotez said. He's frustrated by the lack of drug development, given that the world has had years to prepare for these diseases. Although researchers are testing vaccines against Ebola in people in West Africa, none are approved. Hotez and colleagues at Baylor have developed an experimental vaccine against SARS, but it's never been tested on people. If you'd like to participate in their, public trials... Right. There's also no vaccine against the H7N9 bird flu, which emerged in 2013 and which has killed 212 of 571 total people infected, according to the World Health Organization. Scientists have developed the licensed vaccines for just 2 of the for just 2 of the emerging viruses, of course. H1N1 influenza, which emerged back in 2009, and H5N1 bird flu, which emerged in 1997 and has killed 447 of a total of 840 people infected. The flu shots used this year protect against H1N1. The vaccine against H5N1 could be used in the event of an outbreak. While people have been infected with H5N1 and H7N9 through exposure to infected poultry, neither of these viruses spreads easily from person to person, which has so far limited the extent of outbreaks. The biggest hurdles, to creating new vaccines are not scientific hurdles. They're financial, Hotez said. Scientists have laid the groundwork in an effective Ebola vaccine years ago, but until the disease broke out in West Africa last year, drug companies had little interest in developing vaccines. The South Korean outbreak could provide momentum for new research on MERS. The country's experience suggests MERS may have a potential to become a pandemic, said Sobo Zhang, director of the Institute of Medical Microbiology at Fudan University in Shanghai. Until now, scientists thought MERS had little potential to spread widely because infections seemed to require very close contact. Many patients never infected anyone. Others infected only their caregivers, such as hospital nurses or relatives during the same time period. In South Korea, however, the first patient diagnosed did infect 26 people. Yeah, kind of an interesting and scary little proposition there.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, yes, it is. It is time for us to go to a second commercial break, but don't touch that dial, because when we come back, we're going to tell you how the U.S. government and the Pentagon has just blown millions of our dollars on a second propaganda salvo in Syria, which is going to yield 0 results back in 2.
You've got it locked to New York's best talk, HTLA Radio 1.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
It could be 7 in the morning.
Or 10 at night.
In Chilliwack, BC.
Or St. Peters, Nova Scotia.
It could be Michelle.
Or Mark.
Or Jen.
But whenever, wherever you order that cup of Tim Hortons Premium Blend Coffee,
You know that it's always fresh.
From Newfoundland and Labrador to Vancouver Island, Tim Hortons, a coffee all our own.
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was beautiful. A broom closet. But the worst part was the shower. My wife drying herself with the Egyptian cotton towels. Shower curtain defined that whole vacation for her. Don't just visit New York. Visit TripAdvisor New York.
With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
Some said the U.S. has lost its innovative power. We said America is lighting the way as the innovation nation. Singular insights, superior execution. That's the power of global connections. Bank of America Merrill Lynch. Voted top global research firm 2011, 12, and 13.
I've been so inspired by being in New York because everything from what people are wearing on the street to the way they're interacting with each other, to drive through the West Village at night and you see a couple kissing on the street, or you see someone fighting outside their apartment, or you see so much humanity on a daily basis that even if you're not inspired by your own life that day, you can be inspired by someone else's life.
You got that long hair, slicked back, white t-shirt, and I got that good girl face and a tight little skirt. And when we go crashing down, we come back every time, 'cause we never go out, we never go out, we never go
There's only one place to get more Taylor. We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
Inevitably, that question comes up. But I tell people the gift of Star Trek is the fact that my professional colleagues, my co-workers on Star Trek, became lifelong friends. We are like a family.
Mm-hmm.
But, like every family, you have your crazy uncle.
Hey, yo, JoJo's. Hey, it's Cary Grant. As a cantor.
Of course.
Hey, yo, JoJo's. Hey,
Are you done? Yeah?
I wasn't expecting that reaction.
Yeah, nobody ever is when he does that. No.
They get crazy because all of a sudden nobody loves them.
That's right, Louie. It's good to see that you're still alive and awake.
Wait a minute, I got lost. HTLA. Oh, HTLA.
Right.
Hell is that?
That's that damn via satellite you keep talking about. Yeah.
Use power. That's why power is corrupt, and it is. We see it every day. We see it in every job. It's the same thing.
Well, I'm not so sure about that, but what really I think is important to, myself, Gilbert,
yes,
George, yourself, there, Louie, and indeed all of the listeners, is we've got to fight Hitler.
Let's fight Hitler.
We've got to do that. Welcome back to the big show. Of course, your coffee and cigarettes today. The Thursday double-double for this Thursday, the 4th of June, 2015. Still 65 degrees in Central Park right now under cloudy skies, and that's just all right by me. I'm in the studio with my topless Jenny. I know.
You are a douchebag.
See, I knew it was coming, George. You didn't have to. I guess you did, so that people that don't know it was coming.
Yeah. I've been on enough radio shows.
Yeah, to know when it goes wrong, it goes really wrong. Yeah.
Everything that could go wrong goes wrong.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just screwed right up.
And this is I that up.
Yes.
So I could see you feel very uncomfortable talking.
Right, I'm uncomfortable, so stop talking. Yeah.
I did not sleep with him.
Oh, yes, you did. Yes, you did. That's you and Gilbert. It's that whole thing. You've got some sort of thing. I don't know quite what it is. Yes, thank you, dog. Yeah.
Maybe it's that love-hate.
Well, I don't know because I've never actually witnessed the two of you having sex. I can maybe see the love thing.
Yes.
But, what does Gilbert pull your hair and call you an effing bitch? Like, what? I just see that, take that, you effing bitch.
Yes.
They get crazy because all of a sudden nobody loves them.
Well, they're loving each other. I think in my book that's got to count for something.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's about fucking time. Move on.
Oh, yeah, right. We do have a show. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yes, the Pentagon blowing all your money. Yes. Well, it's true. It's. I'm not making this up.
Yes.
No, absolutely not. The story from Washington today: the Pentagon's latest salvo in the propaganda war against Islamic State militants, of course, features the leaflet depicting a terrified militant awaiting to be chopped in two by the hands of a clock striking midnight. Yeah, shit you not. A U.S. warplane dropped the leaflet bomb May 17th on Raqqa, Syria, the self-proclaimed capital of the Islamic State, also known as ISIL, and its Arabic acronym Daesh. Yes, because we have to be militant correct, I guess,
Yes.
is the term. Islamic correct? Well, the leaflet has since been circulated also on social media because, of course, they use Twitter so damn much. And so they've done that, says Army Major Curtis Kellogg, a spokesman for the U.S. Central Command. It marks the latest, or at the least, the second time the war in the air overseen by Central Command has attempted to persuade ISIL terrorists to surrender rather than fight. And I'm quite sure this cartoon of this clock and this bad guy are going to do it. Yeah. Attempted to persuade them, yes, to surrender rather than fight. In both cases, the military says it's too early to determine the propaganda campaign effectiveness. Really? Because I can tell you right now. Let's see. What would the effectiveness be?
Yes.
If okay, let's say I'm going to go up to Toronto Airport.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to go to one of the printers there in Toronto and get them to print up. Let's see. We'll get them to print up. Oh, I don't know, any kind of anti-American thing we can think of.
Yes.
Okay. With whatever kind of cartoons you want to throw in it and all that good stuff.
Yes.
And we'll do this. The reason I'm doing it in Toronto, of course, is because Canada is bilingual.
Yes.
Right. Which means it's yes.
Yes.
And oui.
Yes.
And we're going to print all these up in French, okay? And I'm pretty sure,
yes,
printing them up in French, no Americans are going to be able to read this unless maybe those Cajun suckers, you know, doing that whole Creole thing.
Yes.
Right? But of course, as we all know, they're not, you know, militant anti-Americans.
Yeah.
Right? So... but we'll just do that, and we'll get Americans to stop being Americans with these leaflets printed in French. That's what we'll do, and then we'll just see how successful that's going to be.
Yes.
I can pretty much tell you now, complete total waste of effing money. Well, also, in addition to the propaganda campaign's effectiveness measure, including its ability to deter militants from fighting, airstrikes, as I've previously reported yesterday, have killed as many as 10,000 ISIS fighters and 88,000 innocent bystanders. Mostly women and children.
Yes.
Well, the leaflet seems intended to push back the ISIL narrative of its inevitable conquest of the region, says Nicholas Harras, an expert in the region at the Center for a New American Security, a Washington think tank. The message from May 17th drop in Arabic. Oh, okay, so they actually do it in their language. Okay. That'll help, I'm thinking, but still... Let's see. You're born.
Yes.
You grow up to an Islamic extremist family.
Yes.
You know, your mother gets you up every day out of bed and spanks you on the little behind and straps on your bomb vest.
Yes.
Tells you to wait for the American pigs. The convoy should be coming any moment. Yeah, breeding you and raising you to go and raise a pillar of holy fire at any American you can find.
Yes.
You grow up into your 20s. You're walking around with your AK-47
yes.
and your beard down to your navel.
Yes.
You know, you're doing that whole goat thing. Right. And some asshole.
Yes.
Whips on over in a C-130 and drops these And you recognize the asshole because it's the same kind of C-130 that, shells you out of existence.
Yes.
Right? Right. So yeah. So you've got that, and the thing comes down, you read it. And amazingly enough, it is in your language. So you read it and you see the little cartoon on the front.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm sure that's going to make you drop your AK and convert to McDonald's. And you'll be jumping up and down the little dirt street as you kick your heels up. I'm loving it. U.S. government, think the frick again. Yes, apparently this thing says your area of control is dwindling and growing smaller daily. A transcription of the script reads, "We have killed many of your leaders and countless fighters. We can strike you anytime, anywhere. You are powerless to stop us." No, seriously, that's what it says.
Yes.
"We will never quit, and you are destined to lose your war. The clock of your destruction is ticking, and 0 hour is very near." Couldn't they have got, I don't know, one of these Hollywood guys that writes up the log lines for action films? Couldn't start the thing off with, "This Friday, little Abu is getting serious." I don't know. I'm just thinking that might be, more effective.
Yes.
Well, another portion of the leaflet refers to Sayaf. Quote, "We have struck you in the heart of your claimed territory, and we have taken Emir while you can do nothing about it. Ha ha ha." Seriously, they might as well do leaflet drops promoting, I don't know. How about David Hasselhoff's concert tour series in Germany? Well, why don't we... It could be, "Don't make us send him to you." I'm just saying, I think if anything's going to stop the Islamic terrorists, it's going to be David Hasselhoff. Well, the previous leaflet drop back in March allowed ISIL recruits waiting in line while monstrous figures fed them into a meat grinder. Yeah, that's believable.
Yes.
Also featured an F-15E Strike Eagle jet dropped a dispenser bomb that littered the Raqqa area with 60,000 copies. The city's population may have tripled to about 800,000 since civil war has ravaged the country. Well, really, if civil war is going on, who the hell's going to stop and read our 60,000 comic books? Well, Kellogg called the Raqqa a challenging environment from which to collect intelligence. Making assessments of the leaflet, good or bad, is difficult. But we'll continue to spend the taxpayers' money on it. Well, the leaflet drop follows a string of ISIL successes in recent weeks: the capture of Ramadi, the Iraqi provincial capital, and Palmyra, the Syrian city with ancient treasures. Yes, the propaganda could be intended to foment revolt among locals against ISIL control because, of course, the U.S.-led coalition intends to launch major operations to destroy it, Harris said. One metric of the propaganda campaign's effectiveness is the number of local uprisings in areas where leaflets have been dropped. It would make more sense, Harris said, to communicate with those local groups, help them, and take hold and hold the ground from ISIL, and then follow with leaflet drops.
Yes.
Yeah. Otherwise, the leaflet drops come across to the local population as hollow propaganda from a disinterested world power. Well, at least they know they're wasting money.
Bullshitters, never keep your mouth shut, always hustling, always looking for something to do and putting things together. That's American. Look how they took the country away from England.
Oh, yes, and once again, the correction from yesterday, Queen Elizabeth is not dead. Thank you, Louis, for reminding me.
Yes.
That was very good.
That's what they've done. They've reached a particular point that they feel they're untouchable.
Okay, I think he's talking about the guys dropping the leaflets, and to answer your question, Louis, they really are, because they drop the leaflets, and by the time the idiots on the ground actually read what it says and raise their fist at the sky and shake it, it's all over. It's done.
Yes.
So the word is we've been pushed into a 90-minute show. Ah, yes, and more dogs I see. Yes. So we're doing a 90-minute show, and
Yes.
that means that, Gilbert, you're going to have to take some throat lozenges. We're going to need a lot more laughing. And I would guess I would need some stories. Well, you asked for it, assholes. Here they come. Let's see. What can I possibly bring in past everything I've brought in the show today, of course, because we've covered all our shows for today.
Yes.
Don't you worry. I've got this covered.
Yes.
Yes, I do. How about this, bitches? Frog chasing moi? That's right. Miss Piggy gets a feminism award in New York City. Yeah, and you thought I wouldn't have anything. Here it is.
Yes.
They say it's a woman's prerogative to change her mind, and that certainly seems the case with Muppets diva Miss Piggy, who is, of course, collecting a coveted feminism award in New York City tonight. Are you invited? Well, after all, the porcine puppet has been quoted as saying, quote, "What are awards? Mere baubles, mere bagatelles, mere Brussels sprouts. One does not labor to shape one's craft for some tacky statuette that looks like a hood ornament from an old DeSoto." See, I bet you had no idea she was that refined.
Yes.
Right? Well, it seems the faux French accented star could not regret or not resist, the one being handed out by the Brooklyn Museum's Elizabeth A. Sackler Center for Feminist Art.
Yes.
For more than 40 years of blazing feminist trails with determination and humor, and for her groundbreaking role in inspiring generations the world over, the stunning sow's enthusiasm... The stunning sow's enthusiasm
Yes.
was... Can I finish this?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
The stunning sow's enthusiasm was evident on, of course, Twitter. Yes, quote, "The pig is in New York." She announced that today. On Thursday, moi will be honored at the Sackler Center First Awards at Brooklyn Museum. Oh, I hope it's shiny. Well, the evening features Miss Piggy, of course, who debuted in The Muppets in 1974.
Yes.
Yes, in conversation with feminist icon Gloria Steinem, a co-founder of Ms. Magazine. Also on hand will be her longtime love interest, a certain frog named Kermit. Well, which presents another conundrum. How do feminists square Steinem's pronouncement that, quote, "a woman without a man is like a fish without a bicycle"?
Yes.
With the calmly hog's deep attachment to the animated amphibian. Oh, my. Also, what do they think about a preening porker who insists on using the Miss moniker rather than the more politically correct Ms.? Well, Elizabeth Sackler, the founder of the center and the force behind the awards, has no issues with Miss Piggy, her views and her lifestyle, and sees the fashion-forward former farm animal as, quote, an embodiment of so many of the traits feminists aspire to. I can think of a few she's not remembering here.
Yes.
Well, she has spirit, she says. She has determination. She has grit. Sackler told USA Today she has inspired children to be who you are, and this squares very directly with feminism, she said. It's a view shared by Dr. Kirsten Pullen, an associate professor of performance studies at Texas A&M University. Quote, I have no problem with Miss Piggy at all, she said. Just because she looks fabulous, it doesn't mean she can't be a feminist. Are these people all retarded? Or now must they stick their feminist failing label on Miss Piggy?
Yes.
Is that really? Okay. Well, Pullen, who studies feminism in relation to the performing arts and whose books include Actresses and Whores, also said that Miss Piggy's relationship with Kermit has changed in recent times. Oh, I guess they're allowed to see other people. She was always chasing him, she said, but now she has a life for herself away from Kermit, and now he chases after her like a bitch. That's nice. That's really, really nice. Whatever the apparent contradictions, Miss Piggy is certainly entertaining. An elite group. Past winners of the award, which started in 2012, include Connie Chung. Oh, no, okay, I can see a lot of similarities between Miss Piggy and Connie Chung. Yeah. Toni Morrison, Sandra Day O'Connor, and, of course, the one, the only, Black Anita Hill. And befitting her high self-esteem, it appears she will be an elite company at the event tonight. Tickets for the private reception and award ceremony start at a pricey $300, while tickets for the ceremony are only $50. Mere pennies, of course, to the splendid sow. After all, Kermit will be there with his wallet. Well, yeah, okay. Technically, it's a story.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. But don't you worry, I got more, baby. Oh yeah, dinosaur news. Oh yeah. See, I don't even have to fill up my mouth with farts because I've got this covered. Well, the latest new dinosaur, a beast with a corona bone atop its enormous face, has an august scientific title based in Greek and Latin roots, but researchers call it something else. That's right, kids. They call it Hellboy. Apparently, the animal earned its impolite nickname thanks to the devilishly hard labor of extracting its skull from a bed of ultra-hard rock just above a river, says Darren Tankey of Canada's Royal Tyrrell Museum of Paleontology, who worked on the excavation and coined the dinosaur's moniker. Yeah, figures a freaking Canadian would come up with Hellboy. Well, stubs resembling devil's horns above the dinosaur's eyes also helped inspire the nickname, which the animal shares with a two-horned comic book superhero of the same name. Not run-of-the-mill devil, the Hellboy dinosaur was more of a demon king. Besides its satanic horns, it boasted a crown-like ring of bony plates across its forehead, inspiring the first part of its scientific name, Regaliceratops, which means royal horned face. I kind of like that for an expletive to call someone. Yeah, you're just a royal horned face. Yeah. Well, Hellboy came to light thanks to amateur fossil hunter Peter Hughes, who in 2005 saw a patch of dark stone on a riverbank in Alberta. And no, he wasn't hallucinating. Someone else would have passed it by, he says, but a consultant geologist thought it might be a bone and sent Tankey a photo. It was a good call. The second part of Hellboy's scientific name is Peter Husey, after the man who spotted it. I've done the easy part. I just found it, Hughes says modestly. Whether finding it was easy or not, the next part is a lot harder. Researchers needed to get an electric jackhammer to chisel the fossil out of its resting place and a helicopter to lift a 1,300-pound stone block to a truck. We volunteered Brock Favors. In the workshop, sections of the fossil crumbled into sediment as fine as hot chocolate powder, says Tanky, who spent 17 months freeing Hellboy from its jacket of rock. Once Tanky had liberated the fossil, it was a beauty, the enormous skull measuring nearly 5 feet in diameter. Yes, it was clearly that of new species, a vegetarian relative of Triceratops that lived some 70 million years ago. It was roughly as big as a rhinoceros, so big that even a T-Rex was no threat to an adult Regaliceratops, says Royal Tyrrell curator Donald Henderson. Hellboy claims include a giant horn above its nose that saw a toothed crown, which Henderson says was probably brightly colored. The researchers think that it was a signaling device conveying messages such as, quote, "I'm a big male and you should mate with me." What say you, George? Are you a big male? Says the study author Caleb Brown of the Royal Tyrrell. None of Hellboy's close relatives have similar head ornaments, which resemble those of a completely different branch of horned dinosaurs. That shows, quote, "We don't know as much about these animals as we thought," Brown says. There are surprises still to be found. This is weird. That's been pretty much everyone's reaction, agrees paleontologist Andrew Fark at California's Rabin Alf Museum of Paleontology. Not to be confused with the Alf Museum in Hollywood. The dinosaur isn't the only unusual feature of Brown and Donaldson's study, published in this week's Current Biology. Tucked into the article's fine print is a marriage proposal from Brown to Royal Tyrrell colleague Lorna O'Brien. Brown popped the question in his very public forum because the study will be read for decades to come. And apparently she said yes. That's right, and I'm telling you, have me go on for another 120 minutes.
Yes.
I've got the stories that matter to you most. Yes, and finally today, I have a story of a 91-year-old who checks off a bizarre bucket list item. That's right. Thanks to dedicated grandson, Illinois man Walter Thomas finally has an answer to a question that he has pondered for many of his 91 years. He told me a long time ago that he always wanted to back a car through the garage door. Granddaughter Becky Goers tells the Woodstock Independent he always wondered if the garage door would pop off or if the frame would come down with it. Well, after hearing about the bizarre bucket list item, Gore's brother, an accident reconstruction officer for the county sheriff's office, set to work making it happen. You don't have to make it happen. He's 91. Just give him a car. Well, obtaining an old car and finding friends who were about to demolish a garage, the Independent reports, on Sunday as family members that included great-grandchildren and his wife of 70 years looked on. Thomas put on a crash helmet and backed right through the wooden garage door with his grandson sitting in the passenger seat. The Independent, which reports this, notes that while the door was smashed, the frame stayed up.
Yes.
That's right. So now he's got his answer and can die happy. He says, I hit the gas, squealed the tires, and bang, we went right through the door, he says. Yeah. Well, a very satisfied Mr. Thomas tells the Associated Press it's not clear whether there are any items left on his bucket list, but he says taking down that garage door will be hard to top. Well, how about the New York City man who took his dying dog on an epic bucket list road trip? No, I didn't think so either. No. Well, gang, After 104 minutes, that beats the 90.
Yes.
I'm feeling good. Time to take my topless girl to the park. Well, we do hope you've enjoyed the show today, everybody out there in listener land. I want to thank the one, the only Louis Lawless for being here today and not really saying too much. Yeah.
Wait a minute, I got lost. HTLA.
Right. Try that again. The music, Louis. The music.
It's just life, and I love doing it. I love doing these kind of stories anyway.
Okay, Louis, but the music. The music.
The music.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
Oh,
you got to hear it.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's about fucking time. Move on.
Okay, well, goodbye to you too then. I also want to thank the one, the only Gilbert Godfrey. Yes, today. There you go.
And this is, I that up.
You did, but that's okay. Thank you.
Thank you for listening and support the show for the love of God.
Yes. Thank you also again to George Takei for being here again today.
I think it's a treat to be here talking with you.
Well, and it is a treat every day. Thank you, sir.
I've enjoyed it thoroughly.
Well, that's good. Shut up now. Once again, no, there's no other reminders. Just be here tomorrow for the big Friday show, 3 p.m. Eastern. Your coffee and cigarettes. HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk. Have a great day.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.